Congressman Mark Green, chair of the House Homeland Security Committee. If anything positive can come of this, is it that the pressure now moving from the border to these Democrat cities and Democrat states will somehow force real change on the issue of immigration?
Well, we certainly hope so, Leland, and thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you.
I mean, it's been a nightmare for Texas. You know, your reporter was talking about $1 billion to New York City. Think of their budget, right? And in Texas, they spent $4 billion last year. They just voted another $4 billion for next year. Thanks for pointing out El Paso's statistics versus New York City. I hope it shines a light on what's going on at the border. It's pandemonium down there.
When we look at the pictures of all of these folks, some of them came across and then were quote unquote vetted by Border Patrol before being released into the United States. We have to assume at least some of these folks are people who were gotaways, who came across and were never intercepted by Border Patrol. Is there anything that we can do to vet these people who are now here, even though deportation seems, I guess, unlikely?
Sure, they're not vetting them. What they're doing is they're handing them off to NGOs. The ICE detention beds, they're not using them. They don't want to use them. There are tens of thousands of empty ICE detention beds because when they're in detention, if they get a positive reading back from the country of origin, they have to return them, right? So if they get a criminal record or something like that. So they're passing them off to hotels run by NGOs at $400 a night, by the way. An ICE detention bed costs the government $120 a night. So the whole point of this is to speed millions of people into the country. I mean,
so they're here now.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, honestly, tracking them is a huge problem. Just finding out where they go. And look at the 1.5 million gotaways. We don't know where they are. We don't know who they are. So obviously identifying them, step one.
Right, but that is step one. It doesn't seem as though anybody's even
not in this administration,
surface or have an interest in doing that. You've got New York with all these folks. Leroy says more and more people are coming.
Yeah.
At some point, don't you have to at least evaluate the potential of a path to citizenship, work permits, trying to at least get some people?
No, because we got to secure the border first. If you do anything with amnesty or any of that stuff now, any immigration solution is just going to incentivize more people to come. That's the problem. They're catch and release policies. Look, when Trump left office and Biden came into office, the budget at CBP didn't go down. The number of agents didn't go down. What happened were 89 policies that were thrown in the garbage by this president, and it's incentivized people to pour across our southern border. They created this migration crisis, the Biden administration, Secretary Mayorkas. If you double down on people, hey, come on, you'll get citizenship or whatever, more will come, and the problem will only amplify.
Normally, it would be my job to press you here, but when I was down on the border, I would talk to people who had just come across and say, why'd you decide to come? And they said, well, because I had some friends who came, and they're in New York, or they're in Houston, or they're in San Antonio, or they're in Des Moines. They have jobs, they're sending money home, therefore, I've come. So it's hard to argue with the logic here. I'm wondering, though, after what we heard from people in Chicago, and these were cities that are deep, deep blue. I think one of the precincts in Chicago where they were thinking of housing some illegal immigrants was 97% blue. It voted 97% for Joe Biden. I'm wondering if that then puts any pressure, you've seen any change by Democrats in Congress on this issue.
I don't think they're paying attention to what the mayor of New York is saying right now. Now, maybe it gets loud enough. I certainly hope so. You know, people ask me, your border security bill that you passed just recently, is it going to pass the Senate? And what I tell them is, look, Joe Biden changed his mind on the D.C. crime bill when America got loud. He said he was going to veto it. He wound up signing it into law. He's changed his mind on negotiating, and he's changed his mind on a clean debt ceiling. So if the American people will get loud enough, maybe, just maybe, the Senate will pick up that bill we sent them and do something.
Well, pictures are worth 1,000 words. We're seeing what's happening around the country. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.